What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best and most broken melee build in Clair Obscure Expedition 33. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of the early game and the end game setup. Then I will explain what skills and upgrades should you focus on. Then as well we'll see what are the best weapons and how to get them. And then finally we will go over the pictos, attributes, your skill rotations, and even what luminas and your team composition should look like, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. And just before we get into the video, let me introduce you to today's video sponsor. LegoFast is a software that ensures better and faster connection routes to the game servers by eliminating connection issues with a single press of a button. All you need to do is sign up through their website, then download the software. Then when you have LegoFast on your computer, just log in, choose the game that you want to play, then select your server region and then just click Start Booster, and that's it. Now you can enjoy whatever game you want to play with the best possible connection. Personally, for me, Clair Obscure Expedition 33 has stuttering, especially when going between the cutscenes and the fights. It also often has low FPS and is not 100% optimized for the smooth experience. But now by using LegoFast, I can enjoy uninterrupted gameplay and much better gameplay experience. On top of all of this, you will get free additional game tools like access to popular modes, language translation, Force PS5 controller icons and more. Also, I prefer to activate the DLSS module swap for insane FPS increase. And again, all of this is done with just one click of a button. So, what are you waiting for? Click my link description to check them out and use my discount code K30 for 30% off. They also offer discounted prices for monthly, annually and quarterly time periods. So don't miss this opportunity to make your gaming lag free. And thanks again to LegoFast for sponsoring this video. This build is a glass cannon with a very high tactical utility. With very good might and luck, she will deliver fast and high impact hits, but she's not meant to tank, so our goal is to strike first, break enemies quickly, and capitalize on the counter mechanics by using a mix of burst, break and the energizing tools. She is also built for tempo control, thanks to the key luminas like the energizing shot and the dead energy too, giving her fast alt uptime that most other builds don't have. And at the start I will show you the best early game build, which is about level 20 to 25. And then in the second part I will show you the full endgame build, which is meant for plus level 80. So let's take a look at it. For early game build we're using the Brûler Room, which is about level 9 with a 295 power and a solid agility C and a lock on B. I chose this one because his fire elemental syncs well with the offensive skills like the Spark. It also has balanced stats but really shines when paired with a very high might and a crit. And then finally, the B lock makes her more crit reliable, which is very important for counter-based luminas. So let's go over the skills, and we're using the Spark for a fast and efficient damage. It scales well with might and is perfect for triggering early breaks or finishing weakened enemies. Then also we got the Swift Stride for speed boost to stay ahead in the every turn. This is crucial in the turn-based control and syncing with the augmented first strike. Next we got the offensive switch. This is a utility skill to rotate in other damage dealers or tanks, and keep in mind that one copy is enough for flexibility. Next we're using the Percy, which is a break type skill that benefits from the breaking counter. We use this to shatter the enemy defenses fast, especially after shelling. Next we got the Guard Down, which lowers enemy defenses, creating a damage spike window. It's great for a setup before we activate the Fluorine Fury or the Spark. And lastly we got the Fluorine Fury, which is our heavy hitter. It costs more energy but rewards with a huge burst when enemies are debuffed or broken. The rotation here is built to use Swift, then debuff, then break and then activate the Fury. And also we want to keep the Spark in reserve for fast turn fills. Next up we have our early pictos and luminas, and overall I've slotted 30 luminas that are focusing on burst, counter attack and the energy generation. So our key choices here is the breaking counter 3. It has a direct synergy with the piercing and the picto, as it amplifies break pressure on the reaction plays. Next we got the augmented first strike, making melee first turn a fight altering nuke. Then also we're using the dead energy too, that generates ult energy when enemies die. It's perfect for chain fighting or trash clearing. Next up we got the critical burn, which amplifies burn on crit. With a high luck, melee reliably will amplify this damage over time for chip pressure. Next we got the energizing star 1 and 2 that gives energy at the battle start. Then also we have fast stacking ult or energy hungry moves like the Florent Fury. Next we also have the energizing jump for easy energy on turn skip. This is mainly meant as a flexed option if you delay for counter or combo setup. And finally we got the augmented counter 1 that boosts the counter damage. This syncs with the breaking counter for bonus damage during enemy turns. Overall, this setup will give her a strong offensive pressure, fast ult rotation and the counter punish mechanics. Next, let's take a look at the attributes. And we went with 20 might to max out the raw offensive power. Then also we got 20 luck for a very high crit chance. It also supports critical burn and the general damage consistency. Next we got 15 agility, which ensures that she often goes first or early, and this is critical for first strike and controlling the turn order. And lastly we have 0 vitality and defense, as we want to avoid tank stats entirely. So as I mentioned at the start, we want to go full glass cannon, and we have built her around DPS and speed, as enemies won't live long enough for defenses to matter. And now last but not least, let's go over the best early combos. So our number 1 combo is meant as the turn 1 opener, where we use Swift Stride, then the guard down and then the Florent Fury. And then we want to let Auto Shell to tank the enemy retaliation. And our opener here will hit hard thanks to the augmented first strike plus the guard down. Then our second combo is for the break counter punish. So we use Spark, then the Piercy, then let enemy hit, then trigger breaking counter, and then follow that up with the Florent Fury. This combo is deadly versus enemies that counter or move periodically. And lastly we have our energizing setup combo, where we use the Swift Stride, then skip a turn to trigger the energizing jump, and then finish it off with a Spark or the offensive switch. This builds energy for the ult or for the Florent without any risk, and it is very useful if you are facing hard bosses. And now finally we've come to the full endgame build, which if you set her up right, then she will do millions upon millions of DPS. This setup will transform a melee into an unkillable high burst engine that is designed for sustained nuking, counter focused attrition, and damage amplification through the defense reduction. With our weapon at level 30, we've reached a point where melee is not only a first striker, but can also repeatedly dish out critical hits with 90% crit rate and insane 2000 speed. So let's take a look at her, and we are using the Jever Room, which is a powerhouse of a sword at level 30 that boasts over 2300 power, also Pierce element and A tier defense, while also getting a B tier agility. We went with this because its raw power and defense makes it a rare hybrid option. The A defense rating synergizes with our counter luminas and lets melee survive despite the 0 vitality investment. And then also our Pierce element complements key skills like the Stenhal and the Phantom Strike, which boosts their damage curve to the max. Next up we got skills, and they are chosen to balance survivability, burst and utility. So first up we are using the guard up that grants defensive boosts, which are especially valuable since we stack defensive to 99. This acts as a pseudo damage shield for the melee. Next we have the burning canvas, which deals AoV or dot style damage. This works great with critical burn lumina and makes great use of the high crit rate. Next up we got the breaking rules. This is a tactical debuff / utility tool for denying enemy mechanics or the setups. It's key for controlling boss phases or elite bosses. Next we got the Swift Stride, which is used to maintain turn priority and outpace faster treads. Next we also got the Stenhal, which is a heavy hitting finisher. This scales massively with the might and a crit, and it synergizes with the greater defenseless, ensuring lethal bursts. And lastly we got the Phantom Strike. This is an extremely fast and multi-hit skill. His high crit rate will ensure a maximum value from each hit that are ideal for counter and burst cycles. All of these skill rotations will involve speed manipulation, damage over time stacking, and crit base finishing. Next up we have pictos and luminas. So we got 3 high level pictos to anchor our playstyle. First is the Auto Rush, which applies rush for 3 turns on a battle start. This gives melee a massive speed advantage right out to the gate, enabling early pressure or the preemptive counter setups. Next we have the Greater Defenseless, which amplifies damage taken by the enemies under Defenseless debuff by 15%. This is essential for maximizing burst combos, with a Stenhal or Burning Canvas, making this picto a very important damage amplifier. And lastly we got the Survivor, that lets melee survive fatal damage once per battle with 1 HP. This turns her into a pseudo-immortal nuke, especially when combined with the guard up or the supports from a healer or a tank. You basically get a second chance without sacrificing damage. Then for luminas we are stacking a full 150 here, as we've fully chosen them for synergy with the melee's crit heavy and defense oriented style. So our key options here is the cheater, which is the MVP of this build. He enables skill use before cooldowns refresh, giving you constant access to burst tools, like the Phantom Strike or the Stand Hull. This turns melee into a combo looping master. Next we have the Painted Power, which adds damage scaling to art-based skills, buffing Burning Canvas significantly. Then also we're using the Augmented Counter 1, 2 and 3. This increases counter damage scaling, and given the melee's tankiness and 1 HP revival, she can safely bait counters and punish enemies. Next we have the Dead Energy 2, which is an ult charge from the fallen enemies. This helps maintain pressure in group fights or the elite skirmishes. Next we got the Critical Burn, which amplifies burn on crit. With a 90% crit rate, this ensures every offensive skill into a turn blade will add the passive damage over time pressure, and synergize very well with the Burning Canvas. Next we have the Energizing Turn, which generates an energy per turn. This ensures that melee never runs dry, even when looping very high cost skills. And lastly we got the Energizing Strike, which adds energy gain per attack. This complements Phantom Strike perfectly due to the multiple hits. And then from here we also got few more choices, but they're not as important as all of these that I mentioned. This entire setup is built around the critical loop pressure, energy sustain and the burst windows, so all of these are structured around it. Next up we have attributes, and we went with 40 might to max out the raw power scaling. Every skill will benefit from this, especially in a high damage burst finishers. Next we have 50 agility. This is pushed to the max to hit 2000 speed, making melee act before almost anyone. This also ensures synergy with the rush and lets her reset turn order for skill chaining. Next we have 99 defense. This is near maxed to ensure that she survives long fights. This combined with the survivor spike though makes her extremely resilient even without healing. Then also we got 48 luck. This is just enough to push crit rate to 90%, which is the golden number, ensuring consistent triggers for critical burn and the high damage output. And lastly we have 0 vitality, as we want to intentionally skip it because defense plus survival plus the guard up do the job better for this build than just the raw stats. This attribute setup makes melee a self-sustaining damage looping unit that thrives in long fights and thrives even more in short explosive windows. Then next up let's take a look at her combos. The first one is the Alpha Strike loop, in which we use Auto Rush active, then the Swift Stride, then the Phantom Strike, then the Breaking Rules. And then we finish it off with the Phantom Strike, which is from the cheater's proc. The main concept is that the crits will apply a burn, while the cheater will reset the Phantom. So then we follow that up with the Burning Canvas for finishing damage over time. Then second we got our counter bait setup, where we use the guard up, then the Swift Stride, then let enemy hit you, then Augmented Counter 3 will trigger, and then finish it off with the Stat Hull. The main idea behind this is that you block with the high defense, then eat the hit and then launch a massive crit counter burst. And then finally we have our survivor loop, where after tanking a fatal hit we get revived at 1 HP. So then we use the Phantom Strike, then Energizing Turn, and then finish it off with a guard up. This combo will let you bounce back immediately, recover energy, and then reapply defensive posture. And now last but not least, let's take a look at the best companions for melee. For this high speed and crit based focused build, the best companion choice is Loon. She boosts agility and provides turn control, letting melee maintain her speed dominance and the combo flow. Syel is a strong secondary option as well, by offering consistent healing and the shield support, which is perfect after melee survives with 1 HP using Survivor. Then Monoko brings extra utility through the energy and the debuff control, helping sustain skill usage. Verso also can offer situational value with the team-wide buffs, but it's less essential. And then Gustav is the weakest synergy here, as his tools will favor a different playstyle, so I recommend to prioritize Loon or the Syel for optimal tempo and survivability. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 3 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.